Hello Internet, I'm Creative Mentalist, and just for your information, this is my first YouTube video, so if I mess up, please forgive me. Learning disabilities are kind of a new thing, they're kind of becoming more mainstream, but for those of you who don't know, a learning disability, it's a condition in your brain, and it doesn't help you learn like so the average person, you don't learn like them. So an example of a learning disability would be ADHD. I have ADHD and I have something called nonverbal, which means my ideas in my head, I can't write them down. I struggle getting things in my head that I know onto paper. I'll have all these ideas and all this, yeah, I know, totally, and going into all this depth about my science stuff, and the minute the essay is put in front of me, I'm like, you expect me to write all that? No. Anyway, I'm doing this because I think it'd be beneficial for kids, teens with learning disabilities to hear it from someone who's their age. Like, I'm a teen, I'm currently in high school, but I've known my entire life, most of my entire life through elementary school from grade 1, that I had a learning disability. And it's been a long road. I know. It's a very hard struggle. I'm gonna try and make it clean I'm gonna make it as clean as I can so that parents who are watching this and are like, how can I help my child? Maybe they'll show this to their child, or hello children, so that you'll hear it from someone who's been down that bumpy road, and it's a bumpy road. So 8 things you need to hear if you have a learning disability and are struggling. Number 1. This doesn't mean you aren't smart. There are many different types of intelligence. Book smart, street smart, there's your classic visual learner, kinesthetic, which is movement learning, you learn by doing things, and then auditory learner. And I'm considered one of the smartest people in my social group, but they know the minute they ask me a math question, even if it's just as simple, okay, what's 6 times 6? I'll be like, I have no idea. I seriously have no idea. But that doesn't mean I'm not smart. That doesn't mean you're not smart. Just because you are like it's such a struggle, like you feel like you suck at one area, calm down. And that's coming from me, and I freak out if I get a 70 on the test. That doesn't mean you aren't smart. There are different kinds of smart. There are so many different kinds of smart, and just because you're not smart in one area and it's a daily struggle to get through that class, that doesn't mean you aren't smart over everything else. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you struggle with it. That's not your first go-to thing. Like, that's not how you learn. That chemistry, an example, chemistry and me, it's everything I suck at. Not smart because you suck at one area. And if it's English for you, that's fine. Go get the help you need. And if it's science, that's also fine. If you're really good at math, bravo. I just need to make that clear because it's been a struggle, because I've had many people tell me in my own life that I'm not smart. Family included. That doesn't mean your family isn't supportive. I've had supportive family and non-supportive family. I just want to make it clear that just because you have a learning disability, I don't like to think of it as a learning disability. I have to say it because that's the logical term, but it doesn't mean you aren't smart. It doesn't mean you have something is wrong with you. No, it's the system that has something wrong with it. Number 2, you shouldn't be ashamed to say, I learn differently. If you come from a place where you're telling yourself you're defective, something's wrong with you, everyone else in the class is getting it, so there must be something wrong with me, no. No. Don't go down that path. It makes everything so much harder. It puts so many more bumps in the road for you to be successful. If you tell yourself you're defective and you don't speak out and say, I learn differently, can you explain this to me in a different way? It's something that I've struggled with so much. I got into high school, and I'm very, very fortunate that I go to a good high school, very open, has very good resources for kids with learning disabilities who are actually dedicated to their learning. I've had so much success because I haven't been ashamed to say that I learn differently. For a while I was very ashamed of it. And then I realized it's not something to be ashamed of. But until you say that you're struggling, you're not gonna succeed. And no matter what, you shouldn't be ashamed to say that you learn differently. It's like the same, you shouldn't, if you know you move a lot, sit at the back of the class. I move a lot, I'm constantly fidgeting, and I use a laptop at school, I type everything. I need to sit at the back of the classroom because I learn differently. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Number 3, when it comes to assignments and something isn't making sense or a lesson isn't making sense, don't be afraid to ask your teachers. You're gonna have those teachers that don't understand, and it gets harder. It's definitely harder in elementary school when you have that one teacher, because then you have to deal with them the rest of the year. And it became easier in high school to come up to teachers and say, I'm not understanding this, just because you don't have all those students that you grew up with, you're in a different environment, and you have a different teacher for different classes, and you only have them for half a year. Everything is just, you don't have them as much, and it's much easier to approach them when you're struggling. If you don't go up to them and ask, the answer will always be no. I'm not saying it's easy. It's definitely not easy. It feels hard to be that one person singled out. It does. Because then you think, is there something wrong with me? How can I not be getting this? Everyone else gets this. You are not everyone else. You learn differently. So don't be afraid to ask. Number 4, know what does and doesn't work for you. I can't stress this enough. Take some trial and error and be like, yeah, this is a new strategy I'm working out. Yeah, check it off your list. That doesn't work for me. Let me try something else. If you can't remember off the top of your head, keep like a journal or like an electronic journal. Be like, my learning skills, what does and doesn't work for me. This works, and under this works, you could be like, okay, making an outline and breaking it down works for me. Doing it the night before doesn't work for me. And whenever you have an assignment, or maybe keep different task lists for different assignments of what does and doesn't work for you, that may help. I know I'm never without my phone, and my phone works for me. Number 5, use your resources. Use your resources that are available, especially in this digital age. In this digital age, you have so many resources compared to like even 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Use them. If you like learning with your laptop, bring your laptop. Don't play games while the teacher's teaching. That's defeating the purpose of having your laptop to help you learn. So use your resources responsibly. There. Don't be afraid to use your technology resources. Use them responsibly. In one of my classes, we had an assignment where we had to go around the room, find the different definitions, and then write them down awkwardly because there were no flat surfaces in our room. We had to carry around our binders, and I just went around, left my laptop there, took my phone, click, 1, click, 2, click, 3. And all my friends looked at me and be like, that's a great idea! And they dropped their stuff and they took their phone and they also started clicking. Soon everyone in class was taking photos. Number 6, you are learning how to learn. The people who get these things right away, ace those tests, write them out, they're probably not learning how to learn. They're just memorizing. It may be the longer road, and it may be less traveled, but it's so worth the journey because it makes everything easier later in life because you know how to learn, and you're not just memorizing facts. Because facts you forget. Number 7. Don't let your parents decide what career you're gonna have. Don't let your parents decide what career. If you're an artist, be an artist. Maybe get like a part-time job to support that, but it's your choice. Think about what kind of career you want to have if money wasn't a like problem. So it took me a while to find out what worked for me, and once you find something that follows your passion, go for your passion, not what your parents want. And if you're undecided, that's fine. Take a year, work, save up, experiment with different things before going to university and decide what you want to do. Because university is expensive, unless you live in Germany or other places where tuition is free, because taxes. The point is, follow your passions and follow things where you won't want to rip your hair out every day. If you don't do things that don't make you happy. Don't go for a career that isn't compatible with your learning disability. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're gonna want to rip your hair out, and you're gonna want to like throw plates against the wall. Number 8, you can make it through. You can't. I know it's rough. And I know you might be lonely and you might be isolated because maybe you don't have the same interests as others. What they talk about doesn't make any sense to you, or you don't like it, and it's just what everyone else is talking about and you feel so isolated because you're surrounded by them every day and you don't feel like you belong. But once you find what you can do and you realize your potential and you realize your passion, you're gonna find your people. There are people out there. But there is light at the end of that dark tunnel. Thank you for watching this video, and I'm gonna go edit now. Oh, that was emotional.